Matt Sheridan and Thomas Scott Ferguson present The Frank Duffy Show. I'm your host, Mike Moore. Each week before the State Liner home games, we'll review the previous week's game and we'll have a breakdown of the upcoming opponent from here in the Phillipsburg High School television studio. Coach, coming off a 42-0 win over Union at Maloney Stadium. They had a kickoff return, good kickoff return right off the bat, but the defense established itself in the first possession. You got a big sack that forced a punt.
Yeah, our defense played outstanding all night and really stepped up in critical situations, and our front four was very active all night, and Aiden Highwell coming up with a big game, something that we're used to now as a two-year starter, and he was great for us last year, and he continues to be great for us this year. So defense came up really big in critical moments, and anytime you pitch a shutout, it's always nice.
So you get punted into the hole, but a 9-play, 86-yard drive. There were a couple of chunk runs, a Deck, Bracco, and then Deck gets a touchdown from 2 yards out, and you're off 7-0.
Yeah, we're able to establish the run game early, get Sammy Deck going right off the bat, and he finishes the night with 4 touchdowns all in the first half. So he has a great night, and Dom comes up big on a 3rd and 13 pass play we call, and he scrambles out to the right and gets the first down. Just having the awareness of, all right, where's my open lane to take off with the football if nobody's open, and he did a great job of getting that first down and continuing the drive.
So you force a punt on the next possession, and you go right back at it. Deck has a 34-yard run and a second short touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, again, just I can't say enough of the game he had and really overall the player that he has. I mean, we've talked about him several times on this show. But also our offensive line. They did a great job. The holds were big. I'm not saying they were so big me and you can run through them, but they were big enough for somebody like Sammy to run through them. And all he needs is a little bit of a hole, and he does a great job, especially when he gets to that second and third level. If we can get blockers on their secondary guys, we're in good shape.
So you're up 14-0, and Union decides to go for it, 4th and 5, and the defense gets another stop.
Yeah, you know, we shut him down there. Is this the Vincent Berger
fumble?
Yeah,
yep.
Vinny Berger getting some time at outside linebacker, a sophomore for us. He comes up with the strip. We always stress creating takeaways, right? Turnovers is something you do on offense. Creating takeaways is it's a mindset, something you do on defense. He gets his hand in there and lodges the ball out, and it was a great stop for us.
So runs by Tyler Wargo and Deck set up the next touchdown, another short run by Deck.
Yeah, just being able to get down there and continue to move the sticks, and once he starts going, there's an overall confidence within the entire offense, knowing that we're in pretty good shape, and I think that's what you saw early on. We wanted to get off to a good start. That's something we wanted to do, something we didn't do the week prior. So we're able to get off to a good start, and it was good to see him get rewarded with a couple trips to the end zone.
Deck, by the way, jumped up career lists on Friday night. Has a 156-yard game, 4 touchdowns. So he now has 31 touchdowns. And just on Friday night, he passes Joe Luke, Brandon Mason, Clayt Williver, Joe Green, and Matt Skirbo Jr. when it comes to career touchdowns. He's now tied with Anthony Guerrero for the 6th spot overall. He's now 7th in career rushing. And if he goes for 100 yards tonight, he'd move into 5th, passing Dana Lee and Matt Cutell. I mean, not bad for a guy it was the middle of his sophomore year, like when he broke in.
No, it's really not. I mean, that's the who's who of Phillipsburg football right there. I've been fortunate enough, it's funny when you say those names, I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of those guys, which, I'm very lucky to be able to do that. So Sam has just been outstanding. He came in halfway through he was always here, but he came on the scene halfway through his sophomore year, if we remember, and just kind of took off from there. Had a couple touchdowns in the Thanksgiving Day game his sophomore year, and it's just been great since.
So the last TD of the first half is started by a big connection between the Bracco brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to see those guys getting going. We had a little play action pass to Dom the Mike. On a little crossing pattern that we know that if you're able to establish and run, the play action pass is going to be there. It was a great play call by our offensive coordinator, Coach Decker. We got Mike the ball. He got positive yardage. And then in that second half, we had like a vertical concept, and we wanted to attack the seams based off the coverage they were running. And Dom saw his brother. Mike got his head around and delivered a great ball.
28-0 at the half. Let's take our first break. Need help managing your retirement and investment accounts? Look no further than Vista Financial Services, located right in Alpha, New Jersey. Our advisors have high-level certifications and specialize in retirement and investment account portfolio management. Avoid going with a large firm where you can get served with excessive hidden fees and little personal attention. Go with an investment firm with experienced local financial advisors you can trust. Advisors that are accessible and care about your financial goals. Vista Financial Services, Alpha, New Jersey. Visit www.vistafsl.com to learn more. Matt Sheridan at Vista Financial Services. So you take the second half kickoff, and Vince Berger, who we talked about, just a little bit a couple minutes ago, who really looks like he has a bright future on both sides of the ball. One touch, 26-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he took the edge there. He bounced it and took the edge and just beat the defense with speed. Plays really hard, practices really hard, defensively and offensively. He'll run the football hard, but he'll also block for us as well. We'll use him as an H-back in some of our personnel packages. But yeah, Vince is really broken out over here these past couple weeks, and he plays with a lot of effort and intensity.
The second and third units kept it up on Friday night. Tommy LaBella got a touchdown. You end the game on a 10-play drive with a kneel down, and Sincere Gilmore had a play in there where he was dragging tacklers down the field.
That was probably the most rewarding of the night. The shutout was nice. The points we put up on the board were nice, but to see those guys go in and uphold the standard of Phillipsburg football, guys who don't get much playing time. We got every senior in the game, which is very important to me, and a guy like Sincere Gilmore who's busted his tail over these past 4 years to get an opportunity to carry the football and do some really good things with it.
I also think it says something about the team concept that seniors who they're not going to get the chance to play a lot, but they're still in with the program and they're still out there at practice every day.
That's important. In this day and age with so many guys looking for the quick fix or wanting to jump ship to what they perceive as a better situation, a lot of our guys, we have a bunch of first-year starters on this team. You go down the list, Brody Lee, Eddie O'Neill, there's a ton of guys on that list. Lozier Palin. There's a ton of guys that are waiting their turn, and I don't think you can say that at a lot of programs, and I'm really proud of that. And even the guys who aren't starting, they stuck it out. They give us a great look on scout team. They're one of the big reasons why we're successful, and it's nice to reward those guys when you can.
Let's take our second break. Thomas Scott Ferguson has been a practicing attorney in Phillipsburg for decades. He's also a volunteer youth track coach and voluntary summertime cross-country coach. After Phillipsburg's 2024 dramatic come-from-behind playoff victory over Northern Highlands with a 46-yard field goal as time expired, Scott texted Lafayette coach John Troxell, himself a hero of the 1988 ESPN game, that his heroics may have been eclipsed. Scott's son Ryan played football and winter and spring track, and he's a senior at Lehigh University. All right, let's talk about Bridgewater. They come into town tonight with a record of 6-2. They fell to Ridge, but that's without their starting quarterback, and Hillsborough. But they're coming off a 28-7 win over Westfield, where they scored 28 unanswered.
Yeah, they have a very dynamic offense. When you watch the film, the thing that takes you back a little bit is how many formations they have. They have a ton of formations that you have to be prepared for. And they do have some very good athletes. Like you mentioned, the quarterback is very good. He did get banged up there earlier in the season, but I think he's kind of back at full force right now, full strength. We saw that in the Westfield game, their latest game. They have some good backs. They have some good wideouts. They get them the football. They find ways to get them the football. They find creative ways to get them the football. And then defensively, again, they're going to give you some multiple looks. So we really have to do a good job of defensively running to the ball, because they're going to complete some passes. That's that type of offense. They're averaging over 70 plays a game, sometimes high 70s. So we got to run to the ball. They're going to go fast. We got to get lined up. And offensively, we got to control the clock, do what we do, run the football, and try to limit their opportunities offensively.
Declan Cordilla is the quarterback, and I think he was a wide receiver for his brother a couple years ago. He's thrown for 739 yards in 6 games And from the statistics that I've seen, looks like they'll spread it around.
Yeah, they will spread it around. There's multiple guys with touches. They'll even throw to the running back out of the backfield. So there's not just one single guy you can target on, which would make an easier game plan. They spread the ball around. They're very unique in what they do. They're very creative in what they do. So it's going to be a great challenge for us defensively.
One of the running backs, Denzo, I think his last name is pronounced Amalafo. He's got 11 touchdowns, and most of those are short yardage plays.
Yeah, they'll get into some tight sets as well. I mean, you will get some empty sets, but you'll also get some tight sets where they'll bring an extra lineman in the game. They'll go with 4 linemen to one side, and they'll try to overload a side and a T backfield and just try to pound you. And they try to go with that, run downhill run philosophy in certain situations. So we got to be ready for that as well.
This is the last week of the regular season before playoffs. Both Phillipsburg and Bridgewater have playoff positioning that they need to protect.
Yeah.
So a win Friday night is very important.
It's a playoff game. Although it's not an official playoff game, it's a playoff game because being able to win this game will put us in a great situation going into the postseason. So, and we can only control what we can control. I know there's some other teams out there that could help us with our seeding based off how they do, but honestly, we can't really worry about that. We just have to worry about Bridgewater because that's enough to worry about.
You've already won the division, but you win this game, it's an undefeated season in the division.
Yeah, which was one of our goals, and it's important to us to win the division. Obviously, we have some loftier goals than that, but it'd be nice to say that we beat every team in our division and give us some momentum going into the postseason. Updating the sub-varsity boys again? Yeah. So sub-varsity, let's talk about our freshmen. Big victory over Liberty, Pennsylvania yesterday. We talked about that last show, how we were able to pick that game up. That was really neat because it's an EPC team. So our freshman team remains undefeated. They have 2 games left. They have Bridgewater and, of course, Easton. And our JV team had a nice victory over Union yesterday. They went out there, and they remain undefeated as well. And they have 2 more games, Bridgewater and Easton. So both programs are doing outstanding this year. Good luck against Bridgewater. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Just to remind our viewers, the Frank Duffy Show is taped at the Phillipsburg High School television studio before each home game under the direction of PHS Stateliner Media instructor Caitlin Schmidlin and in cooperation with the Phillipsburg Athletic Department and the Phillipsburg Garnet Booster Club Foundation. The foundation raises tens of thousands of dollars annually to support Stateliner athletics. Those funds are deposited at PNC Bank, the official bank of Phillipsburg football and the Phillipsburg Garnet Booster Club Foundation. I'm Mike Moore. We'll see you next week before the first home playoff game.